On our way to Barnes & Noble to get what I hope will be the perfect fantasy romance read. I keep seeing photos on Instagram of this book, reviews coming out, and it looks so cute. It seems like it's gonna be right on my alley. So that's what this reading vlog is gonna be. I actually haven't gone book shopping in a while, so I'm very excited to be heading out. Before the gym, we're just gonna go really quick, pick up this book, and then read it later tonight. Okay, so I'm about 100 pages in. This mother, Queen, she is super creepy. I'm trying to think of a character I've read in another book that would be a comparable for you to understand the gravity of the current situation our main protagonist, Ivy, finds herself in. Unfortunately, nothing comes to mind, which makes me think she is in a unique class all her own of crazy. Yeah, It does remind me of The Cool Prince in a couple of ways. The Fae in this book can't lie, so there's that. There's not much descriptions on their looks, so I don't know, like with the ears, if they have ears that are elongated, if they're more beautiful than regular humans, I'm not really sure. But seeing as how the Queen and Prince Bram, I think, are the only Fae in the area, or is it just the Queen? I don't know. I can't really figure out if Prince Bram, what he is, but it seems like she's the only one and everyone else is human. So I already have a theory that there's gonna be more books in this series because there's just so many questions that I have that I don't think they're gonna get to in this book regarding Fae specifically. And as far as like competitions, I haven't seen anything really yet except for the beginning. It does remind me a little bit of the selection, which is cool. So it's got a little bit of everything, and I think with YA books, people like to dog on certain authors for being unoriginal or like copycats, but honestly, how are you gonna write a unique book nowadays? Everything derives or was inspired by something else. So you're gonna read this book and think, oh my gosh, it reminds me of The Cool Prince, it reminds me of Bridgerton, it reminds me of Pride and Prejudice, it reminds me of The Selection. Like, it's just gonna remind you of so many other things. Not that they're copies, it's just this person obviously was inspired by all of these authors and their books. Just a thought. So far, it's super entertaining. I'm on page 104, and I don't want to get into spoilery content, but some things definitely have shifted in terms of what the end game is for our main character, Ivy. But I really like her so far. I think that she deserves better than what she's been given, and I am super interested in the mystery behind her sister. And also, I really like Bram and Emmett. I don't know. But yeah, so far, really enjoying this book. So let's keep going. Also, I'm not feeling the chemistry with anybody. I feel really bad to say that, but I'm not feeling it with any of the characters. Hopefully things will turn, but the person that they're wanting us to fall for, I don't feel anything for. believe we're getting a one bed trope scene right now. Like, are you kidding me? It's just, there's just something about it. I don't care. It is the best trope, even if it's corny, even if it doesn't make sense. Pablo, do you agree? Yes. It is the best. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm here for it. Also, sorry if that's a spoiler. Not saying that this is a spoiler, but oh my gosh, I totally called the reasoning for the girls' chapters, that like the other girls' chapters, not Ivy, the main character, but the other girls that are in this competition. We got random chapters which each of the individual girls, and I had a feeling as to why, and I was right. I'm not happy about that at all. Like, kind of a major update. Things are progressing with Ivy and Emmett. Honestly, not that believable of a relationship or chemistry. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just, I know this is just my opinion. Other people probably will disagree with me. However, I don't really buy their love story. That's my only qualm with this book so far, is I'm not invested in the relationships of this book at all. I think it has to do with the writing style. The storyline is good, the plot is there, it's very engaging, but I think it's just the writing. Not that the writing is inherently bad, but it's not giving me the angst that, or the pining or the yearning that I'm looking for, that I could find in Once Upon a Broken Heart. I think at this point, I pretty much compare everything to Once Upon a Broken Heart and Jax, or Feyre and Reese. Like if it doesn't compare to them two, then I'm just not hooked with the love story. Also, I can't find my tripod anywhere, so I'm just gonna have to hold you up like this. However, we are getting major updates with Bram. I like the plot twist. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, okay, yes, I'm shocked. Definitely shocked. And I will dive in more once I finish this. We'll do a full deep dive sit down on my final thoughts on everything, but I just got to like the main plot twist at the end, towards the end of this book. I don't know how I feel about it. I didn't see it coming because I don't remember any Easter eggs. Like, did they leave any? Because if they didn't, if there were no crumbs leading up to this point, then it's just a completely convoluted, unbelievable storyline that we're gonna get now. It just makes it seem kind of dumb to me. It could have been done in a different way. Like, I get what we're trying to do, but I don't know if I believe everything that led up to this point. I just have a couple of chapters left. So far, I do like the story. I do like this book. I do think that this is gonna be the next big release in the romantasy genre for people. This is gonna be up there with like Cool Prince, Powerless, ACOTAR, all those big books on Book Talk. It's gonna be up there. Light Lark, that's another one. Rose Bargain, I definitely think is gonna be up there. Has potential. I think I'm biased in like my love stories and how I want them to go, but that doesn't mean that the love story in here is bad. And I do think people are gonna like where the book is taking us to book 2. I just don't know if I necessarily love it, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna finish this book. Then we're gonna have a sit down, chitty chat, and then maybe I'll talk about some spoilers. This little hoe. I'm so sorry. What? So much has happened since I recorded, one of which is the crib that you see behind me and my hair. Like, it's been a minute. It's been like a year since I filmed this and I read this book. So I went ahead and refreshed so I can give you guys a good outro because I realized I never did that. This book, while entertaining for the majority of the book, had a lot of potential. And I think that if you have never read any other YA fantasy, like romantasy books, you may enjoy it. To me, overall, I only give it a 3-star rating. I think the relationships here were extremely forced. My favorite character actually was Queen Moore. She was so unlikable, but very entertaining. Everyone else kind of bothered me to some extent. And I think I mentioned this before, but the banter between the two boys wasn't the kind of banter I actually prefer. It felt really forced. There's a plot twist at the end that you don't really expect coming, and I don't necessarily love that because I think that there should be some sort of stepping stones to let the reader kind of know a potential, or if you're paying attention, you could see it coming. I didn't like. I felt like it was forced. I'm gonna get into some spoilery content, so if you don't want to hear it, see in my next video. Ram announces that he's like the king all along for the other world, and he's essentially trying to create a portal to mold the two worlds together so that the Fae could basically have complete control over humans, and that he's actually married to Lydia as well as Ivy. Like, I didn't necessarily love it. Also, Lydia's reasoning for her bargain was like, while sad, still bothered me too. I don't know, I just didn't love anybody. Like, did I necessarily care what happens to Emmett? No. Did I really care about any of the other girls during the trials? Not really. Yeah, while I was reading it, it was exciting, it was fast-paced, it was entertaining. Will I read the next book? I don't know. I may, just so I can judge it properly. I like the potential of Fae characters having kind of like a little creepy, sinister side to them. I just feel like this was executed as well as I would have liked it to have been executed. Also, I'm kind of getting over the whole two brothers are princes and then one of them ends up being the bad guy, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I not see this coming? Like, I feel like it's just really being overplayed. And I know I mentioned before that all books kind of derive of some other book, but for romantasy, I think we can come up with something better. I think that it's time. Let me know if you guys agree in the comments. I checked out Goodreads and a lot of people have somewhat similar thoughts, or they liked it, but I don't know if they necessarily have much to go off of. So those are kind of my thoughts on the Rose Bargain. Again, I liked the things I really liked about the book was the setting, the trials. I really like the queen. I like when people have to make bargains with the Fae in order to like get stuff that they want. I think that's really fun. I didn't like the love triangle. I didn't necessarily like all the girls. I don't like that there is spice in YA. I ended up ripping out a page on chapter 29, so go ahead and skip that if you are trying to avoid spice in your books, specifically with YA. Why are we putting that in YA books? Anyway, yeah, overall I gave this a 3-star rating. So if you're looking for a good romantasy series, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to drop you some of my faves. If you like this book, would love to know why as well. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this reading vlog. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye!